Decking, railing, lighting, furniture, fencing, framing. At Trex, we make the most in outdoor living because you deserve to get more from your life outdoors. So why not start bringing your ideas to life now with the brand that's engineering what's next? To learn more about all of the outdoor solutions Trex has to offer, or to find a local retailer or a certified Trex Pro deck builder near you, visit Trex.com. That's Trex.com.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
If you listen to this show, care about this show, you know that we are a marching band to nowhere, a flying saucer of BS. We get behind causes, we careen into a ditch, we succeed very little except for that whole thing about being America's biggest sports radio show. So, when we get behind causes or do our crusades, it generally doesn't amount to much other than noise, but we now have a pet crusade. You people who think that I don't talk enough sports, this show's not enough about sports. The Vegas Golden Knights are giving you sports. The best stuff that sports can give, the Vegas Golden Knights have it. You have to care about hockey to get really moved by it. But if you just care about stories, what the Vegas Golden Knights are doing is something that is worth getting behind. And so I want this to become our team, even though we're in South Florida. We don't know anything about ice unless it's in our drinks.
Half of them are Florida Panthers anyways.
That's
right.
We
could get behind it. But I just, as a tribute to the randomness of the sport and the randomness of sports, a team that didn't exist a year ago just swept the Kings. A team that didn't exist a year ago with like players who could skate for them. That team wasn't playing games and now just swept the Kings, a franchise that hockey went to that city in order to matter and get bigger. We need to get behind everything Vegas because Miami is just Vegas on the, Penis Peninsula.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. It is, Miami is Vegas. Vegas is Miami. But this Vegas team, 109 points. 109 points in the regular season, so they were good. But it does speak to the randomness of hockey that they can go through a regular season, 109 points, and sweep the LA Kings. It's our team.
No, wait a minute.
Now America's team.
Wait a minute. It's not the randomness of hockey. This team is good and being rewarded for being good. This is not the randomness of hockey. This is the randomness of sports that sometimes people don't know what they're doing with player evaluation and they send guys away that are valuable. And sometimes I don't think the Vegas Golden Knights are smarter than everyone in the history of the sport.
No, probably not.
I think they put together a good team because much of player acquiring is happenstance. And sometimes all of that happenstance comes to be something great. But it doesn't make any sense that the they are in the middle of the best expansion season we've ever seen from a sports team of any kind.
Their first season has been better, I think, than just about any Panther season they've ever had.
But you can make the argument, and I am not any kind of hockey expert, okay? I'm not pretending to be one. I've told you the story before. Cubans don't do hockey. My father went to a Panthers game. There were a lot of goals being scored. They were throwing rats on the ice because Scott Mellenby had killed a rat in the locker room with a stick, and it became a thing. And then Tom Barrasso, the goalie for the Penguins, is hiding in the net, afraid because rats are raining down, and they changed down the rules. And in those stands, my father, who did not know the color of a blue line before that game, my father, who thought the puck was made of metal, my father was crying. My father was crying when that hockey siren went off and rats rained down on Tom Barrasso. And he had to hide in the net because they were beating Lemieux and Lindros.
I wish the pucks were made of metal.
That's the way to use him. The way to use him is in short bursts. Death metal hockey guy.
He was exhausted after.
Yes. No, yeah, and he didn't think it was funny.
Quite the core workout.
Yes.
Definitely not funny.
But that was my father. That's the thing, though, right? My father, that is one of the places where my father came to love sports in this country, is because a story could move you. A story could, in sports, even though you don't know what the hell is going on, because he didn't know what he was watching.
Right.
How can we not get behind these Vegas Golden Knights? And Mike, should we? I'm liking that we might repurpose our University of Central Florida National Champion Trophy. I want to get behind the Vegas Knights in the biggest and best ways that this could be done. And we'll probably ruin it as soon as we arrive. They'll probably lose the next 4 games.
Yeah, they didn't really need our help.
Well, I want to get behind it, though. I want to do it publicly, loudly. I want people paying attention to this hockey team.
Well,
I want to learn their stories.
We will learn their stories. I will. A couple recommendations, maybe outside of the box. Let me go. I'm just spitballing, though. Let's not judge. What if we open the radio show talking Vegas Golden Knights hocky?
I think that's a bad idea.
And what if we get jerseys for you and Stugotz, and we dress up the studio a little bit?
Hacks.
How about they send us helmets that fit?
How about some creative ideas? Did they get him a baby helmet? Is that a baby helmet that Stugotz is wearing right now? Is that a kid's helmet, or is his head misshapen? He's turning red from how tight these things are on his ears.
No joke. It looks like one of your eyes might pop
Stugotz,
out.
Please take that off immediately.
Okay.
You look unhealthy. Your face looks a radioactive kind of red.
I can't take it off.
I mean, it's so tight. Mike bolted it into his temples for the comedian.
I can't get it off.
Oh my God. All right.
Oh, there's a strap.
There is a strap on his. I'm not sure if that's something that actually just happened. I think that just happened for real. Stugotz was trying to take a helmet off. He couldn't get it off by pulling it over his head, and then he realized there was a strap under his chin.
I can't undo the strap. Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you are confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you the same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you are getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. That's rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states. NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
Yanni Adababoo.
Stugotz.
Giannis Adababumbo.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
We urge you, if you don't even care that much about hockey, the hockey playoffs are tremendous. There is not a lot in sports better than the hockey playoffs, and if you care about sports, usually the hockey playoffs can get your interest if you just care about sports because of what it can do. And the Vegas Golden Knights are doing something right now that is worth getting behind. But we are obligated by contractual demand by ESPN to talk about a dynasty possibly dwindling. It just said on First Take in a graphic I saw, dynasty dwindling, and the report is Tom Brady has not committed to play next year.
Whoa.
That's right. So everything must stop. I'm sorry, Vegas Golden Knights feel good. We got to stop for a second, and we've got to analyze what the hell's going on here. Mike, what the hell's going on here? This is the kind of investigation I do in 2018. I say, Mike, what the hell's going on here?
Clear as day. What's going on here?
What?
Mind games. This is Tom Brady messing with Bill Belichick, causing an off-season distraction that he never has to deal with. This is payback for getting his guy out of there.
Wow.
And part of getting the guy out of there, by the way, is Belichick, if he has Garoppolo there, he says, hey, Tommy, you don't want to show up? That's fine. I'll go with Garoppolo. Get out of here. Don't show up. Don't show up this season. I'll go forward with Garoppolo.
I'm not going
so Tommy got him out of there.
I'm not going to OTAs. I'm not going to voluntary camps. I'm not being dutiful soldier anymore. You don't like my doctor who's not a doctor. I'm going to hang out with my doctor who's not a doctor, and we're going to whisper in Gronk's ear. And, all he's doing is motorboating and waiting for a distraction. He's just somewhere in the off-season, limping through the off-season motorboating. Me and my doctor who's not a doctor is going to get in Gronk's ear and say, hey, you train with us, not with Belichick. And Gronk's going to start talking publicly about what? I don't want to play so much anymore.
Yeah, and Danny, why don't you be single and happy in Miami now, all of a sudden? I'm telling you, man, this is payback. This is the busiest couple of weeks of the offseason for the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick's trying to prepare for a draft. And now Tom Brady's putting it in the back of his head. You may not have a quarterback next season. Who are you going to take?
I love that, man. Because when you ask yourself, what the hell's Tom Brady doing? Well, other than having sex with a supermodel and other than trying to decide every day what's more super, the bowl or the model. He's just winning everywhere. And Belichick's preparing for the draft. And the Crafts have come out and publicly said Tom Brady will end as he pleases.
We're not stupid. I know that they came out and put out a statement, a unified statement after the Wickersham thing broke. But things are happening around this organization that never used to happen. Yeah, we're reading into it because typically there was never anything to read into. So it's just adding fuel. It's not making this go away.
The part that's confusing to me, because we've talked before with people who know a lot more than we do. Michael Holley is the guy who's reported on this dwindling dynasty, and he can tell you the stories about how Tom Brady has been subservient. Tom Brady is a follower. Tom Brady has very much bowed to the whims of his boss, Bill Belichick, who is somebody who can be caught snorting, laughing some days, listening to old 1990s Jerky Boys prank calls, snorting at his computer. And now the power in that organization, it appears that Tom Brady, by making Facebook videos with Deepak Chopra's kid and with doing the late night circuit and with doing things like this, it appears that Tom Brady has realized, oh, you ain't the boss of me anymore, Belichick. LeBron does not work for Ty Lue. I do not work for you.
Do people find their voice at 40?
Right?
We talk about LeBron is finding his voice when he's 26.
Well,
this is crazy.
But Brady has been such a lopsided robot about football that he didn't realize he was an adult until right now. Like, he's been the subservient guy who's been a follower, even as one of sports' great leaders. He follows Belichick. Michael Holley has explained all that to us, and he's not doing it anymore.
But do you think there was a moment like someone had to sit him down? Did he come to this realization?
I'm guessing it had to do with Garoppolo, and it's a slow drip over time. Hey, I wanted Wes Welker to stay here. Why'd you send him away?
No, but I'm talking about did someone have to sit Tom Brady down and say, hey, he's not your boss. You're his boss. You're the reason he's won all these Super Bowls, not the other way around.
Once you have the relationship with the owner that allows the owner to neuter the coach who doesn't want to trade the quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, the supermodel who was coming for Tom Brady's stuff that we now know to all be good. All of us know he is a good quarterback who, as of recently, was given the highest contract in the history of the sport at the position. They traded that away. Trading that away is moronic. It's moronic.
Especially the way they went about it, which is they could have called Cleveland. Cleveland would have gave more. Belichick just wanted Garoppolo to go to a good place.
That's right, a good place where he could succeed.
Weird.
Correct. But all these Patriots, listen to this though. Imagine that. All these Patriots who now seem to be in a bit of revolt over the Belichick way, like all this stuff has been oppressive, and we are happy to be outside of it. Belichick will bench Butler during the Super Bowl. He doesn't care about anything, any humanity. But he cares enough after he's been neutered by Brady and Kraft that he has to trade his quarterback, that he wants to make sure to trade him to a place where that quarterback will succeed, even if it means bringing back the franchise not equal value. That makes the country laugh and think you're an idiot.
It's odd, man.
Right?
Yes.
How does all of that fit together?
I don't know. I don't know. But I think Belichick has the ultimate payback here because you've noticed they have no offensive line.
You're right. You're right. You're so right. You're so right. He's going to keep.
Oh, really, Tom?
You know what? You got it. Watch this. Stugotz has got it. He's look, you guys thought Belichick and the Patriots were a genius dynasty. Stugotz has just revealed how this will end at its pettiest and with the most ego. And the way that will happen is Belichick, who has shown off for years because he puts a stand-up comic at running back, and the guy scores 4 touchdowns in a game, and he's put on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and then he's out of the league because Belichick could do that. His ego is such that he says, no, you thought that was good? Watch this. Watch this. I know I can do some of this stuff with running backs, but watch this. I'm going to do it with white wide receivers. Yeah, look at it. Eat it. White wide receivers, and now the next move is those tiny people are going to be his offensive linemen. Belichick is going to say, I could do it with Amendola as my left tackle.
They're both actively trying to make the team worse.
That's right. That is correct.
And it's just going to be Bob Kraft.
What a great ending. Finally, somebody other than them wins. Like, finally, they are. They are both trying to make the team worse, and this poor Bob Kraft.
It still won't be the Jets that win, though.
That's right. That's true. Well, they're still in the division. Bob Kraft at quarterback will win 10 games for the Patriots in the AFC East.
Money, 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 money.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Would Bob Kraft be the third healthiest quarterback in the AFC East? Third best and healthiest.
Wait a second.
Now, I mean, Tom Brady, who's the Patriots quarterback right now? Who is it if Brady's not committing to anything?
Well, Brissett is gone. Is it Hoyer?
Hoyer.
Yeah, it's Hoyer.
Okay, he's not better than Hoyer.
You sure?
I'm not sure, actually.
Don Le Batard.
I'm pulled over, and I'm there with the police officer, and the police officer's outside my window, and a guy drives by in the opposite lane here, okay?
Yeah.
Stugotz.
He yells... Why are you laughing already? I haven't even gotten to the good part of the story.
Just the visual, and I know.
No, it gets better. It gets better. The guy's driving by and he goes, "Appreciate you, man." And he's hanging out of the car. And so I'm getting the ticket and I'm waving at him. I'm like, "Thank you. Thank you." And then he yells back at me, "I was talking to the police officer."
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. The Dan Le Batard Show is brought to you by Pennzoil Synthetics, taking synthetic motor oil performance to a whole new level. Make the switch to Pennzoil Synthetics today. Zach Lowe going to join us in just a minute on the Shell Pennzoil Performance line. His podcast, The Low Post, is available on the ESPN app and Apple Podcast. Here's your SportsCenter update. Shohei Ohtani developed a blister and lasted only 2 innings versus the Red Sox. Bust. Yankee manager Aaron Boone is thinking about dropping Giancarlo Stanton lower in the batting order. And finally, Kendrick Lamar was awarded the prestigious Pulitzer Prize for his studio album, Damn. It's the first non-classical or non-jazz piece to ever win the award. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Do me a favor here, please, because the shipping container, sometimes they forget they're at work and nobody was listening there. Can you read that second story again?
Yeah.
Just read the second story there that you had in your SportsCenter.
Yeah, and I'll remind you guys again, before I read this, we're about 12 games into the season. Yankee manager Aaron Boone is thinking about dropping Giancarlo Stanton lower in the batting order.
Genuine laughter. Genuine laugh. Genuine laugh.
Lower. Wait, the 9 spot?
Is there a 10th spot available?
Genuine laugh. Good joke.
I saw what you did there.
Hey. Happy at his failures. Hey.
So Zach Lowe joins us now. A guy writes in here, or maybe it's a woman, the notion that a bit player like Brady thinks he's responsible for Belichick's success is laughable. Belichick won 11 games with Matt Castle. And that is the sports fan absolutism you love. Only one of them can have the credit for each other's success. We're laughing at the fact that both of them don't seem to realize that they're responsible at the end for each of their success, and now they seem to be fighting over it.
And wrecking the team.
I don't care who you think is more responsible for the success of Brady or Belichick. I'm just enjoying that they seem to be fighting over who gets the credit now. Zach Lowe with us, and as we said, the Low Post is available on the ESPN app and Apple Podcast. We all know how great Anthony Davis is, but I do not understand, Zach, and thank you for joining us, how it is that the Portland backcourt is being outplayed at home.
I mean, some of it is Anthony Davis, right? I mean, the dude is absolutely everywhere. You put him in the pick and roll, he's a menace. Last night he guards Al Farouk Amino, except he doesn't even guard him. He just sort of posts up in the paint and swats at everything. And then Drew Holiday, people are starting to realize how good this dude is. And if you put him on Damian Lillard for 70 possessions a game or whatever it is, Damian Lillard's life is not going to be very fun.
Zach, if DeMarcus Cousins is healthy, would this team be a threat to Houston or Golden State?
Well, I think that's actually the most fascinating question is if they go on to win this series, which is not a done deal, I don't know how much we can trust them given their track record, but what do you do with DeMarcus Cousins? You've played very well with a spacing power forward in Mirotic in his spot and Davis playing entirely at center now. Basically, what is that like? How much better would they be if you took Mirotic out and put Cousins in? I mean, how much better were they really? Were they any better at all? I think that's the most fascinating question they face as an organization if this continues to go well for them.
Help me understand something here. Zach Lowe, his podcast, The Lowe Post, is available on the ESPN app and Apple Podcasts. And you are telling us that we are now growing to learn how good was it Drew Holiday is on defense. And what I wanted to ask you is I didn't think there was any such thing as guarding Damian Lillard well. I didn't think that there is a guy out there really outside of maybe LeBron if he has to do it all game in his prime. But is there such a thing as a guy that guards Lillard well?
Yeah, I think that's been one of the great myths of NBA basketball over the last 5 or 6 years as all these point guards have come up and started jacking threes from Curry range. This idea that, point guard defense is impossible. It doesn't matter. The only defenders who matter are wings and big men. And I never thought that was true. I don't think it's true. And look, it's hard to guard Damian Lillard when someone sets a screen for him. But if you can make it 10% harder for him, if you're 6 inches closer than the average point guard defender would be and your arms are 3 inches longer, all of that stuff adds up to little percentage point wins here or there. And Drew Holiday is big and tough and smart. And he's one of the few guys who maybe can do it.
Zach, I know you wrote about Game 1, the Cavs series. Game 2 is tonight, and for me, it's a must-win for the Cavaliers. But I know you wrote about it for ESPN.com. What did you see? What concerned you the most about what you saw out of the Cavaliers in Game 1?
It was just such a blah game. Just blah. Jeff Green was terrible, and they're not guarding him. They're treating him like the Pelicans are treating Aminu. Just put a center on him and have the center rove all over the floor. And this is sort of the conundrum with LeBron, right? I mean, he gets in these playoff series, and look, Bogdanović played a really nice game on him, and he's an underrated defender. You cannot tell me that dude has a chance if LeBron just says, hey, I'm going to post up 12 feet from the rim, give me the damn ball every single time, and we're going to get a three or a layup or a dunk. And he just doesn't do that until their backs are against the wall. And if he agrees with you and thinks their backs are against the wall tonight, I want to see LeBron go into, LeBron finals mode. Let's see it because they can't guard him down there.
All right, Zach, but what the hell, man? 18 at home, losing by 18 at home, and scoring 80 to open the playoffs. What the hell with that Cavs team, Zach? That's the question. Zach, the question is what the hell? That's the question, is what the hell, Zach?
I agree with you. I just thought it was they played it like it was game 83. There was no urgency. Now, they did miss. They were 8 of 34 from three, and you want to hang your hat on, that will change. Well, if they hit their average from three, they still lose the game to a fifth seed in the Eastern Conference, and their rotations are all a mess. Kyle Korver played 4 minutes. They don't know if they should start Lance or Larry Nance or not start Larry Nance. It was just sort of like the verve, one team played really, really hard and really, really urgently, and the other team just kind of played an NBA basketball game like it was February.
I'd be interested to get your thoughts on this because, for me, this is the infuriating thing about LeBron James. I heard Stephen A. Smith say this the other day, and I happen to agree with what he said, where with LeBron, you can't count out that maybe LeBron doesn't want to get to the finals because he doesn't want a 6 finals loss on his resume. Therefore, he'd rather just bow out now and go figure out where he's going to go next. That infuriates me because you want him to be a competitor, not think that way. But I happen to think, Zach, that he does think that way.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. What I would buy is maybe this, and you guys have seen this before up close in Miami. We all did, and people in Cleveland will say they've seen it before. If he doesn't think they can win, if he doesn't think this is a great team, and he's staring at free agency, it would be human nature for him to maybe have 2% of his head not where it was when he was locked
2%. Wait a minute. Guys.
Why, he was getting somewhere good, though.
No, he wasn't. No, 2%. No, 3%, Zach. Zach, make it 3%.
Well, I'm not going to cycle. I'm not going to cycle.
You already did.
The guy. I'm not.
You said maybe 2%.
I'm not going to do that.
You said maybe 2%. Now I think we can push
4%.
it seems like it might be closer to 4%. Zach, say it. Put your name on it. Let's see if we could put it on the ESPN scroll.
Look, let's see what happens in Game 2. But this did not look like the engaged supernova LeBron that we've seen. And if he would look at this Cavs season has been crazy and melodramatic, and they just have never really hit a gear of greatness other than that 18-game run against almost all bad teams in November and December.
You are a responsible, nuanced journalist. The low post, I'm telling you, I've told you this before. You go listen to Zach Lowe and you will get information the way nobody else in journalism is doing it, where it's film study, it is talking to scouts, it is being plugged in, it is being reasonable and being nuanced. Now, all of that said, though, Zach, you will predict what will happen with this Cavs team. No more of this, maybe that, maybe this, maybe that. You're going to tell me whether they're getting out of the first round or not, and you're going to put your name on it.
Oh, I already predicted they would get out of the first round, and I've already predicted that I think LeBron is more likely to leave than he is to stay. I don't know what else you want me to say, but I think they're going to beat Indiana. I picked them to win in 5. I wouldn't even deviate from that pick at this point. They're better, and they will play better. What happens beyond here is a little bit more of a mystery, but I predicted before the season LeBron will leave. If you had to put a gun to my head and say, where is he going to be next year, I don't know, but I wouldn't guess Cleveland if I had to guess.
Wow, that's my favorite game, man. I have him, just so you know, Zach, gun to my head, I have him with Kawhi Leonard down in Miami. How about that?
Oh, what about that? Go a gun to your head, Zach. Kawhi is in San Antonio next season.
I would say, again, given those parameters that you just said, those violent parameters, I would say no. I mean, the smoke here, this is beyond smoke at this point. I guess it might be just fire now. It might be straight up fire. The barbs that are going back and forth, he's not with the team. I don't know what other conclusion you're supposed to draw. And you see these reports trickle out like, oh, the Spurs are deflecting trade calls. The Spurs are posturing that they won't trade Kawhi. Of course they are. What are they going to do? Surrender and throw their hands up in the air? It's the playoffs. They're not going to do that. But, yeah, if you had to bet, I mean, I think that's the best bet to make.
All right, solid game of gun to your head, man. And you brought it up, by the way.
I've got another round.
Okay, all right.
Gun to your head. Warriors Rockets.
Ooh.
What's the Steph Curry assumption?
That there's a gun to your head.
Okay, well, is he holding it, or is it just a random person holding a gun?
It's right now.
Right now, Curry.
It's Warriors still. Warriors still. I've said Warriors all year. I think if Curry's at 85, 90%, I'd take Warriors. If he's not in the series, or if he's limping around and he's at 50%, I would probably take Rockets.
What if he's 65%, Zach? What if he's 65%?
Rockets, probably.
Probably. Listen.
That's not how gun to your head works.
I'm an expert at gun to your head, man. You just got to give. Like, you just got to let it fly,
problem.
And then hope you're right and hope that you're still alive after the series.
Probably. The podcast, The Low Post, available on the ESPN app and Apple Podcasts. Seriously, despite our nonsense, what I'm telling you is you're not getting this kind of basketball coverage anywhere if you like basketball. Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, guys.
Ryan! I don't know how else to say this, so I'll just say it.
What is it, Linda?
I think we should see other people.
Are you breaking up with me? On a roller coaster?
Well, we do have a lot of fun. Maybe we should stay together.
An emotional roller coaster? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I just need a little me time.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Don Le Batard.
People have told me before, when I was younger, that I looked like George Clooney. I'm serious. When I was younger.
Stugotz.
You have a booger in your right nostril.
So does Clooney.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
You may have noticed recently an uneasy tension between this show and the company it works for, and many of the people paid by that company to appear on various programs throughout the network. I am not sure after that interview whether Zach Lowe likes us or hates us. I think he might hate us, and something that's happening here is the texters are writing in, Dan, you're trying to turn every reputable journalist into a bunch of Stugotzes.
I think he likes us. I think he hates you.
Okay, so that might be what's in play here. And so that you guys understand, because this happened during the last segment, and we were deconstructing it during the break. The whole goal of this program over the next 10 years is for everything we're doing around here to attack everything in the gas bag mainstream sports media and Stugotz to end up.
Did you say 10 years?
At the top of the mountain. You in 10 years. I'll be long gone by then, buried by tequila and whatever else I've put in my system.
Whoa. Just going to be me?
It's going to be you at the top of the mountain, and on that mountain are going to be the corpses of Rich Eisen and Dan Patrick and Mike Wilbon and Barstool. Everybody's going to be under the Stugotz army.
Not certain that's going to last 10 years, but I'll tell you what, I will take the couple of years where I'll grab all the money and then I'll just flame out and, I'll come hang out with you somewhere.
Yeah, well, no, that will not happen.
Why not?
Because we're not friends.
Oh. That hurts, man.
So, Zach Lowe comes on here, and we read this differently because Stugotz and Mike thought I interrupted him from giving you the golden nugget, from giving you, the audience, the golden nugget that Zach Lowe believes that possibly, maybe, kind of, Zach Lowe, expert, believes that LeBron might actually be tanking, so his opinion is closer to Stugotz's than you might think, and that I fouled it up.
If he doesn't think this is a great team, and he's staring at free agency, it would be human nature for him to maybe have 2% of his head not where it was when he was locked
2%. Wait a minute. Guys.
Why he was getting somewhere good, though.
No, he wasn't. No, 2%. No, 3%, Zach. All right. Zach, make it 3%. So
I tried to save you, man. He was getting to the good stuff.
No, wait a minute. This is where, but this is what you don't understand about the good stuff. I could give a flying bleep whether Zach Lowe thinks 2% of LeBron James's head might be tanking, or anybody thinks that.
No, but that is the good stuff. Him saying that. See, here's the thing, Dan. It's one thing for me to say it, okay? No, it's one thing. I'm not credible. It's one thing for me to say it. It's a different thing to hear Stephen A. Smith and Zach Lowe lend credence to the ridiculous things that come out of this mouth. That's what, for me, that's what I was looking for.
Okay, but this is not about whether, I felt like he already gave you, I agree with you, you're right. I felt that that's what you heard on the front end. Yeah, but then
I wanted percentages.
Okay, that's where I'm telling you, it's silly. It's a silly exercise. Zach Lowe is willing to get out there only so much as to say 2% of LeBron James might maybe kind of be tanking. Like, get out of here. That's not more credible reporting. That's just, hey, maybe LeBron's a bit of a head case in his final season in a contract.
And in your defense, he wouldn't go up to 3. So, listen, this is the way you want it done, right? 100%. LeBron James is not focused on this series against the Pacers because he knows his team can't win a championship.
Or 100% he is. Yes. Or 100% he is.
Right.
Not 2% according to Zach Lowe. What the hell kind of formula is that? That's not exactly 538.
I was digging it, man.
Yeah,
I care about the 2% that Zach Lowe thinks.
So do I.
A lot of people do.
Well, call him back then, and I'll apologize to him.
My number blocked now.
All right. Well, I'll apologize to him, and I'll do it so you can get your little morsels of Zach Lowe nuggets.
Usually, I send them a text thanking him because the guys usually ask me to get Zach on, and
because he doesn't answer our calls.
Right, and I thanked him. Usually, I thank him after the interviews. Today, I just texted him, "I'm sorry."
Okay, well, what?
He hasn't responded.
Well, let's see if we can get Zach back on next segment to finish his thought, and we'll prove me wrong. We'll figure out whether I'm wrong or not, whether the thought is going to be worthy of getting into the ESPN scrolling galaxy where people are talking and making news.
Do you think he'll be up for another round of gun to your head?
I didn't think he liked that so much. I thought it was the best part of the entire segment.
Game.
He started it.
No, but he didn't. But he started it unironically. He started it as, well, you put a gun to my head, then we put the gun to his head, and he backed away.
Yeah, the game changed to violent parameters.
Yeah, I did. That's what happened. Man, either roll along or get left behind. Like, let's go.
Well, I don't think this segment's helping our chances.
Yeah, well, let's call him back. Call him back and ask him. I want to find out. Let FaceTime him.
Send him a text that says, hey. Just break the ice with, hey.
So wait a minute. What is the poll question, Mike? What is the poll question that mocks me at maximum expense that points out how wrong I was about everything I did in that segment with Zach Lowe?
Is Dan 98% jerk?
Okay, there you go. That's a good question.
All right, I sent him the text. Just says, hey.
You guys think I hate the guy that texts that way?
We're not friends.
Aqua?
Next. You're holding up the line, ma'am.
What did you say?
You're next in line for the water slide, ma'am. Feet forward and enjoy the ride.
Okay, dearie. This does look fun. Whee! Oh, you melted me. I've melted.
The Wicked Witch of the West on a water slide? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
See what you've done. Oh!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15%.
Great news. There's a quick way you can save money. Switch to Geico. Geico could help you get great coverage at a great price. And it only takes 15 minutes to see if you could save 15% or more on car insurance. Go to geico.com today and see how much you could save.
Don Le Batard.
Bill Belichick has told his players that despite the blizzard that's expected in the New England area, the Patriots will hold its final practices during its playoff bye week. No excuses for being late. Moron.
Stugotz.
Don't do that.
I'm sorry.
Don't
I
do
mean,
that.
no
Don't
excuses
do
for
that.
being late. I'm sorry.
If he needs it, you got to give it to him. He's helping Bill.
He is displaying behavior, that of a moron. That's all I'm saying. Save it. We're good. You kick, save, and abuse.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
We're in trouble, man.
What happened?
I keep texting Zach Lowe, hey, and no response.
Allison, can you call Zach Lowe so we can apologize to him on air? And
Whoa.
Yeah, calling is very aggressive at this point. You got to give him time to respond to hey.
Yeah.
Do you see any of the three dots?
Let me check again. No.
Yeah, we don't want to come off desperate now.
Yeah.
All right.
Wrote, sorry, hey. So 3 heys and a sorry, and not even a dot. I mean, nothing.
3 heys.
Too many.
Yeah, that's too many.
I need to back off?
Yeah.
Too many heys.
How many straight texts without him responding?
4.
Stalker.
You guys don't think Allison should just handle Zach Lowe? I'd like to talk to Zach Lowe so we can apologize to him.
Whoa. We can't just call him, guys. We need to be on the same page about this. Because now we know how this game goes.
Right. One more hey? Or
He has all the power. I'm not sure you know how the game goes, Dan.
I've been out of the game for a long time.
Okay, well, you're losing it right now.
Okay,
you're losing at the
I'm
game.
Mikey and Swingers.
Yeah. It's a power struggle. Mike's right. There's a power struggle.
Any dots?
Have you seen dots?
No dots.
Wait, what color is text messages?
His are white.
Oh, and yours?
Green.
Oh, yeah, you're not going to see dots. Oh, this is bad.
By the way, you hate the people who text. Like, do me a favor. When you text me your entire thought in one text. I don't need a series of text. It's obnoxious and it's annoying. You know people who do that? Give me the entire thought in one text. Don't give me 15 text messages all around a single thought. Allison does it all the time.
All the time. Thank God you brought it up. She is the worst. She had a day that she sent me 30 straight texts that I did not answer, and it was like 4 sentences. She does like 1 word at a time sometimes. And if she wants to be really aggressive, she'll do 1 letter at a time if you haven't answered. What? So it'll be like 18 straight letters for 4 words. And it's like, can you not tell that I'm busy or I don't want to talk to you right now?
Does it sound like that's intentional to do 1 at a time? It is intentional to annoy him, and yes, I do it all the time.
Well, get the point. No one wants to talk to you.
But you're the
Take a
person
hint.
that like takes days to respond, and then when you text, you're like, why aren't you responding? Why aren't you getting back to me?
Well, because I only text you important things.
Okay.
It's annoying, Allison. I'm just telling. Oh, bubbles are coming back. I see some bubbles.
How? There's no bubbles if he's green. You're lying.
Oh, that was Baselli. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Small business protection just got easier. With more than 30 coverage options available, Progressive has you covered. More at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Guests on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. The NBA playoffs are on ESPN Radio. Tune in tonight as LeBron and the Cavs host the Pacers. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on most ESPN radio stations. Here's your SportsCenter update. Tallahassee police had conducted surveillance on Florida State quarterback DeAndre Francois for months on a tip that he's been selling marijuana and has raided his apartment, finding less than an ounce of the drug. University of Michigan police are investigating threatening tweets directed towards Jim Harbaugh. And finally, Sioux Falls mayoral candidate Jolene Lochster says she is 100% committed to and supports Stugotz Day in Sioux Falls. That's the platform she's running on. Run on this platform. Get me a private jet. She says she loves Stugotz. Oh, that's nice. Now I feel bad.
Yeah, you were asking for a private jet before you.
I still want it. She says that she loves Stugotz and would like Poppy to make the trip as well. More on this story as it develops. Or not. Poppy. Hey, a little pushy there, right?
Poppy will go in there and take your appearance fee, and he won't ask for no private jet. He's got first-class travel in his contract. That was funny. He made fun of my agent about it. He's like, really? First-class travel? That's what you got us?
Hey, really?
That's what you got us?
Yeah.
I don't go anywhere. I'm an old man who lives 3 blocks from my house. That's what you got us. First-class travel.
Who's his agent? For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the Sports Center on ESPN Radio all throughout the day. I do it with Poppy. I think that'd be fun.
Poppy, she's offered Poppy a week, hasn't she? Hasn't she offered my father an entire week? Stugotz a day, but my father a week.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to burn a day there. How are you going to do a week there? Sioux Falls. I mean, jeez.
This is not very nice, Stugotz. These people are trying to do a day for you. The mayoral candidate wants to get you out there.
No, the mayor is using me to get elected. That's what the mayor is doing. She's running on the Stugotz platform of, hey, Sioux Falls Stugotz Day. She's using me for votes. And you know what? If you're going to use me for votes, that's fine, okay? I'm going to use you to get it exactly how I want. And how I want it is a lot more money, more things to do, and a private jet.
By the way, you can listen to us on Sioux Falls Sports Leader, ESPN 991.
Love you guys. And I love Sioux Falls. I want to make this happen. Summer, preferably.
No, you
want to
can't.
make this happen. We got to play a little golf tournament.
You cannot do burn a day. I want to make this happen. I love Sioux Falls. I've got to call the Kentucky Fried Chickens out on you on that. You can't do that. I love Sioux Falls. I'm doing everything I can to get out of ever visiting Sioux Falls.
Yo, chicken time.
You can listen to us in Sioux Falls Sports Leader, ESPN 99.1.
I'm serious, man. I'd be happy to go out there summer months.
You're not serious?
Right.
Okay, thank you. The Chickens are undefeated. They are the Harlem Globetrotters.
Never lost.
Never lost.
Yeah. You're right, Chicken.
Well, all right, so we're beefing with Zach Lowe as part of our continued quest to beef with everyone in the mainstream media.
Chicken time.
We?
You.
We?
Yes, okay, my bad. All right, sorry, I'm sorry, Chickens. Get back in there. You're right, as always. Undefeated. Yes, I'm sorry. Whoa! Sorry to upset you. I'm beefing with Zach Lowe. Mm-hmm. Stugotz has the better beefs. It's Wilbon, it's Dan Patrick, it's Rich Eisen, it's Around the Horn.
It's an entire city.
I love that city. Listen, I'm open to doing this in the summer. I mean,
Stugotz is so much better at beefing than I am. I'm beefing with Zach Lowe.
I mean, listen, no city means more to me than Sioux Falls. No affiliate, no city, nobody. I know Miami means everything to you. Sioux Falls means everything to me for the right price. I can be bought.
You love that affiliate.
I do love that.
He talks about it every day.
I do.
What is that affiliate again, Stugotz? You know?
Oh, man. The Sports Leader. Number 1 in my heart.
Yeah.
Home of the Skyforce. 97.2.
No.
You really should have. I mean, honestly, why couldn't you go with the bluffery? Why did you go and give the wrong call letters now in Sioux Falls? Call numbers.
That's a fine.
You're phlegmy. That's a fine on you.
I got a cold, man. Chest cold. Terrible one.
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm supposed to be phlegmy. I mean.
What?
98.6.
No.
98% of LeBron is not tanking.
102.4.
Yeah.
The Sports Leader. 99.1. Sioux Falls.
Yeah!
Sports Leader. Yeah. I'll go there, man.
Boom. Wait, if they give you a private jet.
Well, I mean, listen, this mayor, she's not the mayor, Dan. So I know what's happening here. The current mayor wants Sioux Falls Day. And the mayor who is running against the current mayor sees the popularity out there. So I feel like, you know what? I was just waiting around for my spot because now I'm at max leverage point. This is fantastic.
This is great.
Hey, right?
You're
Yes.
a debate topic.
My patience is paid off.
Yes.
I mean,
So you need to be a part. Now what we need to do.
It's patience.
It's
precisely what it's been.
Mike, we need to do this. Yes, patience. A shining tribute, not to Stugotz's just unending greed, but to his patience as a symbol of his strength. We need to have him go and moderate a debate between the mayors of Sioux Falls. That's something that needs to be.
it's going to cost more. But this is also what I'm saying, okay? I am willing, whichever mayor is willing, because they're both running, that wants to pay me the most money for a Sioux Falls day, okay, that's the mayor I will back at Sioux Falls. And if I back you, you're going to win. So, you know what? Let the bidding begin.
Okay, now we're in the game. Now, let's do it with corrupt
and
politics.
for all of us. I want all of us there.
Oh, well, that's the lie. That's the lie. You don't want anything.
What if we cut into your appearance?
Yeah, what if we...
No. I just want to share the joyous day with you guys. Key to the city, you know, a golf tournament.
Carry my golf bags. Carry my bags.
Is that it?
I'll buy lunch.
You don't want to go there by yourself.
I'll buy lunch. I love the idea of Stugotz flying to all his dreams in a private jet and sobbing because he's so alone.
You think they have golf in Sioux Falls? I'm serious.
Of course they have golf.
Put it on the poll.
What?
I don't know if they have golf there. Listen, I'm telling you.
What do you? They have golf everywhere. What do you mean? Everywhere in the United States where you will find a large region.
It's debatable. South Dakota. I mean, I don't know.
A large non-urban region. Wait a minute. Maybe Stugotz is right about this.
Of course there's golf in Sioux Falls.
I'm going to Google golf courses in Sioux Falls. Hold on.
I don't know the demographics of Sioux Falls. I don't know the temperature of Sioux Falls.
So it's SUE Falls?
Cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, dollar.
Population 35% elk. I mean, we're not going there. Dangerous. You ever see an elk? Horns, I think.
That's a great question on the poll at Levitard Show. Have you ever seen an elk? Not a picture of an elk, an elk. Have you ever seen an elk? It's how much elk?
35%.
That can't be right. You cannot tell me. That statistic does not. What do you mean Sioux Falls is 35% elk?
35% of the residents are elk.
That can't be right.
We're going to have this golf tournament, and elk are going to be my foursome. I mean, an elk is going to hand me the key to the city. I mean, an elk's running for mayor.
No, what? With Vivid Seats, you can get tickets to watch your favorite team no matter what your favorite team or where your favorite team plays. Talk to them about it, Stugotz. Tell them.
Yep, spring has arrived. That means so is Major League Baseball season. The crack of the bat, the smell of the grass. It's time to head to the stadium and experience all the action. What's the best way to get tickets to the ballpark? With Vivid Seats. Just download the free Vivid Seats app and easily find seats wherever your favorite sports team is playing.
I have found approximately 25 golf courses.
Oh, really?
About 25 golf courses.
Okay.
I believe one of them has elk in the name.
All right, we're back in business. I mean, I'll go out there. You guys want to go? A little golf tournament? Check out the elk. I mean, you guys pay for your own travel, and I'll meet you with Bobby. Kurkjian. Good. Summerlin. Yen. Roy. Sioux Falls. Billy. Sioux Falls.
Yeah, sure.
You don't think it's going to happen?
It's not. No, it's not going to happen.
Well, it's not.
Ryan! I don't know how else to say this, so I'll just say it.
What is it, Linda?
I think we should see other people.
Are you breaking up with me? On a roller coaster?
Well, we do have a lot of fun. Maybe we should stay together.
An emotional roller coaster? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I just need a little me time.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Don Batard.
Yo, chicken time.
Stugotz.
Smarter job.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
As you see what's happening, Stugotz, in San Antonio and in New England, is it possible for these kinds of things to end well very often? I know the Spurs had that great 20-year run, But is Popovich allowed to retire regally, or does the way it has to end always be with everything coming apart? That Belichick and Brady have to fall apart at the end. That Tim Duncan and Popovich got to the end, but now Popovich is there. He comes from another time. He's not connecting with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard doesn't trust him. They've got a massive scandal on their hands because this is a young superstar, and for whatever the reasons are, Popovich can't reach him.
Well, the reason is LeBron. I've told you that. So when LeBron gets in the mix, then no, it's impossible for it to end correctly.
No, but what I'm asking you is, with what is happening in New England, the odds are always against that ending, given that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick might have different ideas about how good Tom Brady's going to be at the end. Tom Brady isn't going to find in the mirror, I can't do this. Confidence is the last thing to go. Mirror's last thing to know. So it can't end well. Like, unless Tom Brady decides to retire, it's not just going to end at 45 with them holding up a trophy and then it's done. There's always a greed at the end of it. These people define themselves by these things too much for them to just let them go.
Well, hold on then. Could it end that way? Could it end Belichick, Brady, Super Bowl, Brady's done? Or Belichick's done?
At the same time, it doesn't feel like that's where we're headed when Kraft's publicly saying Tom Brady can retire however he wants.
No, but okay. Maybe not the perfect ending, but if they win a Super Bowl, one of them just decides to hang it up. Isn't that a pretty good ending right there?
Yes, but Tom Brady keeps saying on Facebook that he's playing till 50. And his wife, a supermodel, she's pretty persuasive, and she's the breadwinner in the family. She's like, retire already. And he's like, no. She's like, come on, we don't need money. He's like, no.
Right. I'm trying to think.
Look at Gronk. He can't even speak anymore. No. You killed Wes Welker. No. Come home. I want you to be safe. No.
I'm trying to think where it's ended perfectly. Like, I'm trying to think.
Tim Duncan, they ended that pretty perfectly.
They ended that perfectly. But the reason it was so perfect for so long for Pop is they kind of lucked into, Robinson got hurt. So he transitioned from David Robinson to Tim Duncan, which kept them relevant and winning championships for another 2 decades. Then you thought he was going to transition to Kawhi, and that's not working out because of LeBron. But so this is not going to end well for Popovich. Well, it's not going to end the way I think Popovich envisioned it to end, with him on top. It's not. Like, they're not going to be on top for very long. They're already done.
But what I'm saying, didn't it happen with Pat Riley here in Miami? He came down from the heavens one last time, won it miraculously in 2006. Did he quit? Did he immediately quit? That's never how it ends. When does Tony Dungy walked away, but not the moment he won it.
Yeah, Elway. Worked for Elway.
Well, no, but it worked for Elway because he was 1,000,000 years old. Like, at that point, Elway's body, the way he played, helicoptering around, breaking at every turn. Like, at that point, Elway, yes, you're right. He got the ending right.
With the team he started with, he ended with that team. But you look back, greatest athletes. Jordan didn't end with that same team. Montana didn't get that ending.
But do the coaches get that ending? Do the coaches ever retire I always feel like there's some extra greed that you're not allowed to. In sports, you're not really allowed to retire the hero with the story on the perfect ending the way you want it. If you could or would, Dwayne Wade would retire right now, today.
Right after that game. That'd be the perfect way to retire.
But that's not how anybody retires, though.
I mean, Jordan had it perfect.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Came back.
No, but they all do.
Perfect.
They all do. Yes, Jordan had it. But why do you think his last speech was so bitter? Like the last speech of the Hall of Fame, he's spitting at everybody. Why? Because all the years after that were so awful. Seriously. Like he
just needed to get it off his chest.
But Jordan's a meme and a clown show now. He had the perfect ending. You think we could put that meme on his face if he had just quit right after that?
Dick Vermeil had a perfect ending. He walked away from the sport after he won the Super Bowl, right? And that's a guy who appears to have balance in his life, right?
Did he?
And he couldn't stay away.
But he wept. He wept when he won the Super Bowl, and then he
went
came
out
back
on top.
But this one is different. When you have 2 guys attached to it, greatest coach, greatest quarterback, I think, Dan, it's an interesting point. Can this end well? Right? You have greatest quarterback, greatest coach. So these two are tied together, and everyone's trying to, it seems like Tom is tired of Belichick, and everyone's trying to figure out who deserves the most amount of credit while they're wrecking the team together. And that's what they're doing. And they should be ashamed of themselves.
Oh, there
seriously.
It is.
Vermeil couldn't stay away. Bill Walsh did, though, right? After they won a championship? Or did he return to college? But he stayed away from the professional ranks, right?
But is okay, and they're all Larry Brown, man. They're all of them except Dungy, who has family and religion, and has managed to wander away. Hell, man, how's Gruden doing? They have the easiest job in the world, man. They put you in a trailer a couple of times a month, a year. They had you talk to quarterbacks. You said crazy things about banana plays on television. Boom, $7 million.
I mean, some of those games were hard to watch.
Oh, the Monday night games. Ugh.
Did Kobe get it right?
No.
I mean, 60 points in a meaningless game in which he didn't pass? I mean,
Don Lebatard.
Give us as much as you can here. Take us up to the dramatic first pitch, Billy.
Jose Urena standing at the back of the mound. He reaches down. He's rubbing some dirt and rosin on his hand. And here we go.
Stugotz.
And the pitch. Oh, God, a home run on the first pitch of the game. Oh, my God.
Welcome, Derek Jeter. And that concludes our Marlins coverage for the season.
This is the Don Lebatard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Nobody likes these.
I like them.
It's the most polarizing thing we do.
I like death metal hockey guy.
I cannot believe people like this guy.
No, people do like him, and
so
people hate
unfunny.
him. It's not unfunny.
It's unfunny.
It's a great character. Death metal hockey analysis guy is great.
ESPN Radio is presented. Yeah. You feeling this?
Yeah, feel it.
Let's go.
Feel it now. Get in the character.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guest on the Dan Lebatard Show appear via the Shell Pencil Performance Line. And now, your Sports Center update.
Yeah.
Stanley Cup playoffs. Of course, the best. The Capitals beat the Blue Jackets in double overtime. They are now down 2-1 in the series. The Jets beat the Wild 3-1 in that series. Reading a little too fast.
That's okay. But I
only know one speed.
I feel like you should only be talking about hockey, though. We're giving you too much to read. You should just be giving us bursts of hockey analysis.
There are a lot of words. And the Golden Knights, that's our team.
Yes.
They swept the Kings.
Yes.
4 games tonight.
Yes.
All game 4s.
Yes.
Penguins and Flyers. Lightning and Devils, my favorite. Preds and Avalanche.
Art Bryle's favorite as well.
I'll say hi to him when I get there. God, I can't wait. I mean, Satan, I can't wait. And Ducks and Sharks. I love this music. But this is grating. And I'm going to stop now and get taken over to finish out the rest of the update by someone else.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, someone else.
Someone else. Come, save me. Oh, yeah, dude. It's the greatest band in the world, dude. 311. Toes in the sand, chimney in the hand, and 311 playing. That's the band. And finally, in their quest to take back the only copy of their album, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, dudes, the Wu-Tang Clan. They may have found an ally in former FBI Director James Comey. Wu-Tang Clan's Ghostface Killer and Method Man met with Comey backstage at the Late Late Show last night. Ghostface captioned the photo of the trio together by writing, "Me and my brother Method Man working on getting that album back from the feds." I love 311, dude. Just let the vibes and the steel drum flow through you.
Why'd you get so close to the microphone?
The song was a little loud, and I'm also a producer on the show.
Oh.
Wu-Tang Clan forever. That album was forfeited by its owner, Martin Shkreli, after he was convicted of security fraud. Never cool, dude. Currently, it rests in the hands of the Justice Department. Anywho, for all the latest headlines and information, tune in to SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day. By the way, I've heard these promos. There's a palm tree that talks like a surfer that likes baseball. That's ridiculous. Stealing my bit. Who would like baseball, dudes? There isn't a surfer that would like baseball. It's a worse sport.
There's a surfer baseball dude?
There's a surfer palm tree that likes baseball, dude.
Where?
Oh, that's outrageous.
No, wait.
Where is this palm
I'm talking
tree?
about Cody Bellinger's sweet swing. I
Where?
heard the
But
promo
where?
on this very network, dude.
Okay, where? You find those for me. Go get Mike.
We have it. Go get Mike. And then have him play it off the J Drive.
Yes.
I'm just going to stay here vibing to 311.
Wait a minute. So people are selling some surfer baseball guy?
It's
baseball
it's
palm
a palm
tree?
tree, dude.
They're using the palm tree to promote baseball.
All right.
So,
How
baseball.
are they doing that?
With the palm tree.
Who's doing it?
What's happening?
What is happening here is that the surfer guy who stands far away from the microphone and death metal hockey guy who seems to be a little more insecure than usual lately, both of them were doing the update, and death metal guy became insecure, and surfer guy told me there was some baseball surfer palm tree that ESPN was dragging around, stealing his character, and he's seeking copyright infringement.
As a palm tree, I keep it pretty chill up here. But Cody Bellinger, he's exciting.
Are you kidding me?
So much gnarly power, so little effort. Just chillaxing up there. And we both have the tall, slender, wavy thing going on. Cody Bellinger. Totally, man. Sunday Night Baseball. Nationals Dodgers at 8 Eastern on ESPN. Telecast presented by Taco Bell.
I mean, why would they steal the worst thing we do, dude?
I kind of like it.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. Really?
There's another level there. He's a palm tree.
Well, why is he a surfing palm tree?
I could easily be a palm tree.
No, you're too far away. He's a palm tree. I like it.
But I'm further away.
I mean, it sounds like everybody in that ad is high. Like, that doesn't sound like a palm tree surfer. It just sounds like someone's pretending to be high.
No, that sounds like a palm tree surfer.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Right.
But I sound like a surfer, but I'm far away from the microphone.
But you're not a palm tree.
Look, I could maybe it really worked because he said Cody Bellinger, brah.
Whose advertising campaign is this? What are we selling?
Doesn't even sound like a surfer, dude.
We're selling baseball.
Look, I can be a palm tree. Cody Bellinger, bro. It doesn't even sound like a surfer.
No, that's the turtle from Finding Nemo.
Sound like this. I do like Cody Bellinger, though. Yeah. Rep SoCal.
Oh, yeah.
All I wear is Pacific Sun. It's my favorite.
Oh, Pac Sun is what they call it. Pac Sun.
I go Pacific Sun. We're on formal terms. Don't know him that well. All right. Quicksilver, cool with me too, dude.
Nice.
Gonna get some sex wax and slip on out of here.
All right.
Billabong.
Again.
I only like half of that.
And it's not the bill.
Thank you, Dan.
It's the Billy. I was doing the Billy. I'm sorry.
Totally
I ruined it. 2 minutes in the penalty box for me.
Oh my God, did you ruin the joke?
Go to therapy, dude. I think it's ready.
Yeah.
By the way,
We'll find out.
Mike, get on that.
Completely ruined the joke. I got an update here from Zach Lowe.
Ooh. Wow. What's happening?
It's not good.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Concern, guys. Hold on. I am opening my phone up right now because I've given my code away too many times on TV. This was 11:20.
Uh-oh.
I offered him, come on the show, feel terrible, want to apologize. We're on your side. We're on Team Lowe. Dan was a jerk. He's going to publicly apologize and all that good stuff. He wrote back. That was after, hey. He wrote back, would love to, but running into a lunch meeting.
Uh-oh.
11:20. First off, no one eats lunch till noon.
No. Ask him where he's eating lunch. Yeah. That's the next move.
You want verification of lunch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if he can think fast.
Should I ask him to take a picture of himself eating lunch?
Yeah.
I'm picturing it at a Panera Bread.
We don't have a penalty box anymore.
Oh, we don't?
No,
Okay.
we have a therapy couch.
That's where Dan is?
Yeah, Dan's at the therapy couch right now. You can check in with him. He's talking to a therapist right now.
Well, let's check it.
So comfortable here. It's nice. I don't know if you guys are talking to me or not. I can't hear anybody.
Keep talking to the therapist, Dan.
Yeah, Dan. Keep talking, Dano.
Perhaps We should have tested this some more.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling, Dan? What emotions are you going through?
Can you hear us, Dan?
Oh, okay. Now I can hear you guys.
Yeah. Well, this is a therapist.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being left out. I feel like I'm being pushed aside, that the group is getting bigger than me and that they're getting better at it, and I have to wrestle in control, and so you guys are ahead of me on the jokes. And then when you make the Billabong joke, he's saying, I only like half of that, and then I go, and it's not the bill, and I ruin the joke. But I was going for he doesn't love Billy, because you guys were arguing. I thought that was clever. I thought I was adding to the joke. So it makes me sad that they would take away my shine like that after all I've done for them.
Now, is this something you can control?
I need control too much. What's obvious is that I need too much control. I got to let go of some of the control. If I let go of some of the control, everybody will flourish. But if they flourish too much without me, then all of a sudden I get left behind. I'm old, and then they'll just be burying me at my funeral.
How much of this do you blame on me?
I mean, it's my greatest fear.
Oh, he's talking
have Stugotz be more famous than me. Yeah.
Ask the therapist if this bit is dying on the vine.
I'm just bloated on it.
Ask the therapist that. Is the bit dying on the vine?
Oh, is anyone listening to me? Was I talking on air?
Yeah, the whole time.
No! No!
Dan Le Batard.
Stugotz is kind of morally bankrupt.
Stugotz.
That's fair.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Last year, if you remember, a broken Chicago Bulls team that was dysfunctional all season, Rondo and Wade and Jimmy Butler wheezed into the playoffs. They get into the first round as an 8 seed, and they scare the holy hell out of the Celtics because the Celtics are a bit banged up, and the Bulls win the first 2 games of the series in Boston. And then, as often happens in basketball, no matter how we get to Celtics in 6, Boston goes and wins the series, right, and the better team simply wins. What I'm asking you is, if LeBron James loses tonight,
right,
do you still expect that? Do you expect things to just shake out? If he loses tonight and now there are 2 road games that he's got to go win, and it's with a team that couldn't do anything on its home floor against the bleeping 5-seeded Indiana Pacers.
Right.
Does the sky fall in on this?
No. Not for me.
If they go down 0-2 at home.
Not for me. For everyone else, yes. Not for me. I still have confidence that the Cavaliers will figure out a way to win that series. I don't doubt, like some of the stuff Stephen A. Smith made me think the other day. I was listening to him. We talked about it with Zach Lowe, where he said that maybe LeBron, he knows this team can't win a championship. He knows. Even if they get to the finals, he knows they can't beat the Rockets or the Warriors. And maybe LeBron is thinking to himself, hey, I don't want a 6th NBA Finals on my resume, loss on my resume. Therefore, let's just bow out early. But I don't think it's this early. I don't.
Okay.
I think he's got it planned out. I just don't know what the
you'll
plan
tell
is
us
yet.
when it is. Thank you. Okay. You inform us of when that is. No, I appreciate that.
It's day to day.
Okay.
And sometimes it's minute to minute. But I am telling you, at least right now, that could change tomorrow.
Right.
I could change in an hour.
Right.
But right now, I don't think he's bowing out this early.
I don't feel like it could change tomorrow or an hour. I feel like they need to play for it. Like the game needs to start for it to change.
Yeah, the game, I mean, yes, that's usually the game needs to start for things to start changing. But I'm telling you, I know this creature very, very well. All right, he's the greatest basketball player I've ever seen besides Michael Jordan. But he's also the most calculated basketball player I've ever seen, period. He's the best at that. He has this thing planned out. It's just a matter of when. Not if, just a matter of when. And when is not against the Indiana Pacers. Nope, not happening. Because that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
But is this one of the LeBron James statement games? Is this one of, you love to say that. You love to be the guy who sidles up right next to LeBron James and says, this is one of those nights when he shows the Toronto Raptors, hey, Toronto Raptors, not yet, not on my watch.
We'll see after the game.
Oh, well, wait a minute.
I need the result. Always do. Then I play it. That's what I do. Some people play instruments. Some people play hooky from school. Some people play sports. I play the result. And I've made a ton of money doing it.
So if they lose tonight, because you did another ton of money that you've made is doing the move you did earlier in the show when you're like, and the Cavs, they play tonight. Must win, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know why I said that. I didn't even mean it.
Okay, but I'm saying if you said must win, by the way, then it suggests, it hints, much like you wanted from Zach Lowe earlier in the show for him to finish the comment. Finish the comment, Stugotz. If it's a must-win today, what's going to happen if they lose tonight and it's 0-2? Because if you lose a must-win, you had to win that one. It was a must-win.
Right. Again,
you're saying this is a must-win.
It changes minute to minute. I mean, it was a must-win when I was talking to Zach, and now I'm talking to you, and it's no longer a must-win. That's how it works with LeBron, man. LeBron's world is crazy. He makes everyone crazy. That's all he does. Everyone's trying to figure out where he's going to go, what he's going to do, who's going to coach him, who he likes, who he doesn't like. Meanwhile, we're all trying to figure this out, and he's making everyone crazy.
Kawhi, he's making everyone crazy.
Kawhi doesn't know what to do with himself, and now Popovich is going crazy.
This is fairly
when
amazing.
You don't have Kawhi, what does Pop look like? A crazy person.
That's the truth. He's so right about that.
And this Tom Brady thing, I mean, seriously. Fingerprints, if you're looking for him, LeBron's are all over him. I'm serious. This is what LeBron has done, and now he's making Belichick crazy.
He makes everyone
now
crazy.
Brady doesn't know if he should play football anymore.
That's right. Gronk wasn't even thinking about retiring. He's like, I love beer and boobs, and I like touchdowns, and then all of a sudden, next thing LeBron says something to him, and now he wants to retire.
Hey, shows up to a Yankee game or on Instagram or something with a Yankee hat. Now Stanton's all confused. The guy can't play baseball anymore. I mean, it's unbelievable. And Brady's he's going to stop playing football because of LeBron James. You don't know what to do. You know what? Listen, this is what LeBron has done. He has taught all these players, hey, you're the boss, not the other way around. And now everyone's confused because it has wrecked the infrastructure of sports.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly what's happening.
Hey, ruined the Masters. I mean, jeez.
The Masters.
He got Tiger's head. Yeah, he was all pumped up. You never seen LeBron tweet out anything about golf. Also, Tiger comes back for the Masters, and LeBron said he's got to win.
Yeah.
And the Tiger is confused. He doesn't know about golf anymore. And Patrick Reed wins. I mean, God.
He's so right about this. I didn't even realize it. Look, Stugotz is breaking the news. Every undulation of LeBron is felt everywhere in sports. And his every twitch, a twitch, ruins the Spurs. It's like Popovich was
and
great.
The Patriots.
Well, that one's a little harder to tie to him. But
not that hard.
But when you say like I do believe Tom Brady's looking at LeBron and saying, "Hey, I'm LeBron, right? I'm LeBron. Why is Belichick making me run sprints when I'm 35?" Like he's looking at LeBron. He's like, "Wait, LeBron's out here, social causes, and he does whatever he wants. So he's fighting with the president. What am I doing? Belichick's telling me to run gassers. I've won him 4 titles.
Brady's 40. Fine.
No, I was saying that this was 5 years ago, back when he was learning all the things that LeBron could be.
Fine.
Still a fine.
Big one.
Oh, big one?
Yeah.
What's it a big one for?
I don't know. Listen, LeBron's got all of us confused. I'm confused. You're confused. No one knows the fine system. I mean, no one knows what's going on anymore. This world, it's a crazy world we're living in. You want to know why? It's LeBron's world. And no one knows what to do with it. I mean, seriously.
Must-win game tonight, yes or no?
We'll see.
Okay.
Great news. There's a quick way you can save money. Switch to Geico. Geico could help you get great coverage at a great price. And it only takes 15 minutes to see if you could save 15% or more on car insurance. Go to geico.com today and see how much you could save.
Don Le Batard.
Marriage at some point, I think for a lot of people, they get down to, and this is really a sad part about marriage, where you're just having sex one day a week. And that one day a week is Sunday. And so I love Sundays, but I hate everything I have to do leading up till Sunday, which is essentially agree with everything my wife says and does everything she asks me to do. And I'm only doing that for the Sundays. Because if I don't do it, there ain't no Sundays. And I can't live without my Sundays.
Stugotz.
I wonder if Abby hates Sundays.
Oh, she despises them.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. The NBA playoffs are on ESPN Radio. Tune in tonight for a must-win as LeBron and the Cavs host the Pacers. Coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern on most ESPN radio stations. Must-win game. Here's your SportsCenter update. Anthony Rizzo says there needs to be fewer regular season games, saying, quote, "We play too much baseball." Yes, you do. 100 games. That's it. Sprint. See you later. The second the NBA Finals are over, next day, opening day. Do that until September. Have your postseason. Be done with baseball. It's too much. And no one cares. Boring. Bill safety Micah Hyde says the solution to curbing the number of illegal hits on receivers is to fine quarterbacks for dangerous throws. You like that?
I do like that. I think Brock Osweiler should give all his money back.
I meant the 100-game sprint in baseball.
I didn't like that either.
What, 162?
Just you're ridiculously changing all the logistics of the sport without any thought.
It's a summer sport. That's what it is. You know what baseball is? Baseball has become the sport. When we have no other sports going on that are more exciting, we pay attention to baseball. And so just have it on when there are no other sports going on. That's all I'm
true.
saying.
That's true. But I feel like they do that pretty well in October.
A little too early. That's what Rizzo was saying. And finally, in an "and finally" follow-up, the 4 baboons that collaborated to escape a Texas research facility reportedly rolled a 55-gallon barrel upright near a wall of their open-air enclosure, then climbed it, which allowed them to escape. Wow. For all the latest headlines and information, tune to the Sports Center on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Forgive the self-involvement of what I'm about to say, but Mike Ryan hasn't been right for 20 minutes. He's been sent careening. His face looks wrong because evidently we took a swing and a miss around here. We're going for, we're trying to play a little bit on radio and television with some of the ridiculous resources they've given us here, which is basically a green screen that ESPN uses for Around the Horn, highly questionable, and a therapist couch and a hockey arena. It's a green screen.
Mm-hmm.
Height of Entertainment. Company made $20 billion the last 6 years. It's a green screen.
And the therapy couch is actually just a cot that we borrowed from the hotel.
From the Clevelander. I saw that wheeled in here by security the other day. I saw that you guys woke the sleepy security guard and had him drag a mattress in here as a therapist couch. It's very comfortable, by the way.
It was an exciting day for him.
Yeah, he got to move. He got to protect someone.
He got to earn his paycheck.
He got to do something other than eat pizza, sleep, and watch bodybuilding videos.
I think they only have 4 of those, and we have one, and we haven't given it back yet. I don't think that they knew this was going to be like a long-term loan.
They can get it back soon.
We stole a bit. All right, so this is right. Mike doesn't like the bit. And I think the bit's got some potential. The idea of sending any one of us to the therapist couch to go and complain about whatever it is that's bothering you on the job. Whatever, it's like an honesty bin. Whatever it is that's bothering you psychologically, I like the idea of throwing someone out there. Maybe we should throw Mike out there right now. Look at him.
Please,
man.
Look at him.
No, you're reeling though, Mike.
We've lost Mike for the show. He doesn't think he's funny anymore.
Mike.
Man, he was funny 45 minutes ago, and then Death Metal Hockey Guy happened, and then the couch happened, and now he feels like he's not funny anymore.
Mike, it feels good. Just let it out, man. It feels good.
I really don't want to do
Get
this.
out of here. 2 minutes, therapist couch. Go. Out. 2 minutes.
Get on the couch.
Go to the couch. And he doesn't want to do the bit. You're on record, okay? You're in that safe space where if
on us, Mike.
If it's not funny, it's not your fault.
It's on us. It's on us.
I know it's bad radio.
Don't hold back. Really explore your feelings.
Exactly.
Yes.
Just vent, man. Just vent. Just let it out. Just vent.
Go to the therapist couch because I'm telling you that on television it's funny. It looks funny on television. I understand 50,000 people are watching us on ESPN News and many millions of you are listening to us on the radio. So television on the radio is terrible. But it's funny on television. Trust when I say how cheap and amateur we are at the height of entertainment is funny on television. We look like we don't know what we're doing.
I could be wrong here, but based on those numbers that you just gave out, we're probably catering to the wrong audience.
That's correct. As we did in that bit, we catered to the wrong audience trying to do a bit for the 40 or 50,000 people watching on television instead of the millions. 53 million last month on podcast. 2 million a week on terrestrial radio. Millions. We're going for a joke on AM radio that involves a visual couch. And it didn't work, and we're stunned.
What is that?
And Disney's saying, why would we give you guys any money to go do more things? Why don't you borrow a couch from the hotel? So at some point here, Mike is on the couch, and I don't know what's happening. I don't know how to do this bit correctly. I think the bit's got potential. What do you think, Stugotz? Do you think the bit has potential?
No question the bit has potential. It's just, it's venting about things going on, around the show, venting about you, and giving people, you're letting people inside, letting them hear that. Yes, I think it's a good bit. I have no proof so far, but I do think it's a good
we don't
bet.
have any proof so far. So let's listen in here on Mike and see what it is that he's talking about to the therapist. Let's listen. Hold on. Let's fade him up slowly and let's see what.
I was kind of against the idea of the segment, but conceptually, I guess visually it looked funny. But my concern was always radio, and all my worst fears were realized because it sounded clunky. Dan was lying down in a penalty box for some reason. They couldn't get the therapist's office up on the green screen, and Stu and I were just talking, trying to fill and communicate with Dan, but he couldn't hear us.
I feel better.
And I think my biggest fear, honestly, now that I have you here, is...
All right, fade him down for a second.
Okay.
This seems invasive. This feels a little personal. We will check in at some other point during the segment. Again,
confidentiality agreement.
Yes, hold on, though. Just give him 30 seconds of must-win LeBron tonight. 30 seconds, and then we'll check back in with Mike. 30 seconds.
It's weird, a team down 0-1 in an NBA playoff series where, I don't feel like it's a must-win. Most people would say, hey, must-win for the Cavs tonight. I don't think it's a must-win. Now, I know I said that about an hour 20 minutes ago, but that was an hour ago. And now I don't feel like it's a must-win for LeBron. I think even if the Pacers squeak one out here, even if the Pacers win by a point, maybe they win by 20 points, doesn't matter. Okay? It's all part of LeBron's master plan here. And so tonight, where most people are saying must-win for the Cavs, I'm saying, nope, doesn't matter if they win this game. In fact, how about this? Must-win game for the Pacers. It's a must-win game for the Indiana. You lose this game, series is over. You win this game, perhaps you have a chance where LeBron says to himself, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this owner. I'm done with this team. I'm done with this organization.
Wait a minute. You say the Pacers lose this game?
Yeah, it's over.
Their season's over? That's what you just said?
Yeah, if the Pacers lose tonight, it goes to 1-1. Series over, season over, therefore making a must-win game for Indiana and them boys.
All right, hold on a second. Let's see. Let's check in. I like this, even though it's rebellious and there are confidentiality clauses. It's very invasive. We're probably breaking a lot of laws here. Let's listen in again surreptitiously to
how poorly the first one went, and then they dragged me right back out here against my will. And this is the dynamic I've been telling you for years about this guy. He's always making me do these things. I don't think they're good. What does he want to do? Do it again and try to make it funny. And then, let's just act. Well, this isn't acting. These are my true feelings. And I'm just so mad. And then Stugotz filibusters, and it's clearly not working. No one's telling me if it's working or not. And I'm just here lying on a couch, truly exploring my feelings. I'm actually doing it now. I'm actually telling it's not even going over the air, but he's been really difficult lately.
All right, hold on. Get that part out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. Hold on a second.
Oh, man, I love this idea.
Here's the thing, okay? Mike Ryan, you guys think this is a bit, but this is the part of it that's not a bit. We never know if the technology is working around here. So when I was out there talking, I didn't know whether I was on the air or not on the air. And he legitimately doesn't know because of our lack of communication, because of how poorly we do things, because we're a marching band to nowhere. I just ran out while Stugotz was hot taking, saying, keep going, Mike, keep going, because that's how we run things around here. Like it's everyone looking at each other and we don't have the technology to do anything right.
I'm just telling
them. We went to Fusion and they forced us out into this other studio. We were so happy just doing our normal radio show, and we wanted to be bigger. And you know what? Yeah, it was sort of my idea. I wanted to grow the show, and what happened was my life was ruined for 2 years. Just the worst person you can imagine.
Cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, dollar.
And I'll tell you whose season's going to be ruined. They'll win tonight. That's Lance Stevenson. It's a must-win game. I can't believe I didn't think of this earlier. I'm upset with myself. I might need to go to the couch because LeBron, he's in my head. Everyone's confused. Must-win game for the Pacers.
Take the Capital One Venture card, put the venture in adventure, and once you get Capital One, we've been telling you this for a while, you will be helping the show, you will be helping one of our sponsors, you will be helping someone that we care about because they care about us. Tell us, Stugotz, about Capital One.
Did the bit work?
I didn't even do this anymore with him. I went to Bristol and I asked around. I believe me, I tried. But this guy has ruined my career to the point that I am radioactive. No one will hire me. And I am just here, stuck in this hell that's televised. God almighty, what have I done?
Everyone in the neighborhood knew about Bobby. Bobby, the basketball boy, they called him. Bobby wanted to go pro someday, so he was always out in the driveway shooting hoops. But one day, his mom came out and told him, "Hey, your wife wants you to take out the trash." His mom was visiting, and Bobby was a grown man. He had kind of missed his window. Plus, no one had ever seen him actually make a basket. But on the other hand, Bobby had heard how Geico could save him money on car insurance, so he switched and saved. So it was all good.
Don Le Batard.
Stugotz lies so much, and he doesn't take inventory of his lies, that even when he's telling the truth, we don't believe him on anything. What's wrong, Stugotz? What are you objecting to?
I mean, listen, I've done this to myself, so I'm frustrated at myself. I'm not going to lash out elsewhere because I understand why everyone would think that I was the one who did this. But I am sitting here telling you guys that I did not do it.
Stugotz.
You absolutely took a bite out of a piece of pizza and put it back with the rest of the pizza.
It was me.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
So Joe Barksdale is going to join us in 15 minutes. He is an offensive lineman for the Los Angeles Chargers. He is an offensive tackle. He's a giant man. He is 6'5", 326 pounds. He does violence for a living. And he just released his debut album, Butterflies, Rainbows, and Moonbeams. The 6'5", 326-pound tackle for the Los Angeles Chargers just released his debut album, Butterflies, Rainbows, and Moonbeams.
It's actually Norwegian death metal.
So I want to talk to this guy because he seems interesting for a number of different reasons, but one of the reasons that he's interesting is because DeMar DeRozan and Kevin Love have recently given voice to the idea of it's okay to be vulnerable publicly with my depression and my vulnerability.
Right.
In a world of testosterone. Millennials, generationally, there's some differences here. People in their 20s, athletes in their 20s, seem to be okay with, hey, I don't have to be a man. I can talk about my feelings. It's okay to talk about my dark feelings.
Different world, though. Even from the NBA, right? Different world for him.
Yes, okay. It is a different world, but he's 6'5", 326 pounds.
I understand.
And whether he's writing about butterflies, rainbows, or moonbeams, he's 6'5", 326 pounds. And he mauls people for a living.
A lot of guys in that league do. Is my
yeah,
point.
but I don't think you should confuse, though. I don't think we should confuse that this man can't handle himself just because he's got a soft side. It's at the center of what it is that we're talking about that might not be accepted in that sport from him.
No, I have no doubt that he can handle it. I'm wondering if the people around him can handle it. That's all, like how it's being received. How he's being,
Yeah, I don't. We will find out. We will talk to him in about 10 minutes, but he has decided. I don't know what the impetus for this was. I don't know exactly whether he wants to help others. That's what DeRozan was saying it because he wanted to help others. Love did it because he wanted DeRozan to feel less alone. And this must be, I wonder what kind of silent screaming has been going on in sports for a long time with this stuff, where guys are always just sort of told to rub a little dirt on it. In the case of Joe Barksdale, the voice in your head keeps telling you, kill yourself. Kill yourself. Do it now. And it keeps getting louder. Kill yourself. You should kill yourself. You're worthless. You should kill yourself. But I got money. I got fame. All my dreams have come true. I'm a big offensive lineman. I'm making money. I've got millions of dollars I've made because I've signed the bonuses and I'm successful at what I do. And now I'm going to talk about my feelings. I'm going to do it publicly. I don't know why exactly he's doing this, but I suspect we'll find out in about 10 minutes. Maybe it is to help others. Maybe it is because that silent screaming feels awfully alone when you're the only one who can hear it.
I mean, it has to be, right? Like helping others, getting word out there, letting other athletes know they're not alone, letting people know they're not alone.
Well, I think there probably is with this. If he's coming out with this publicly, my guess is that there probably is with him, hey, don't judge a book by its cover. My guess is that if you're naming your album, about butterflies and moonbeams, he very much doesn't want you to think of him or typecast him as 326-pound meathead. Because this stuff isn't easy to talk about publicly. I don't even know why he would do it. I don't know what therapy he gets from it, from talking about it publicly.
Oh, I think he has a platform. I think there's a lot of people, Dan, who have no idea what's going on inside of other people's brains, inside of their own brain, okay? Mental illness, depression, and he has a platform. He's coming on our show right now, and I think he is taking a leadership role and saying, hey, I'm going to spread the word about just how bad this can be for a lot of people. because he has the platform. And not many athletes, and I'm with you. I think there are more athletes. They're just afraid to say it. But we've had 3 who have recently come out, and I think the reason they're coming out is to help one another, but to help everyone else. I do.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson came out talking about depression the other day, and I'm wondering if we haven't had this. It feels to me as an opening for talking about things that used to be not talked about. Are there more athletes in sports who have come out as gay than there are athletes in sports who have come out as depressed? Because the reason I frame it that way is there is a vulnerability in revealing to others whatever your privacies are, whether they're mentally or sexually. And so I ask you the question, who's more outed right now? Gay athletes or depressed, publicly depressed athletes?
Actively, I think mental illness has been more public.
Recently, you feel like
you have DeRozan, you have Love, you have Barksdale.
Oh, no, but I'm talking about throughout sports. I'm not just talking about in the major sports. I'm not talking about Michael Sam. I'm talking about throughout sports, the what tend to be testosterone-soaked worlds in the male kingdom.
Yeah, I think it's a safer space, obviously, because we're seeing such a rash of it. And Lord knows, just statistically, there are more gay athletes than have publicly been outed.
But that's not the question I was asking you. I wasn't asking you, are there more closeted gay athletes than there are closeted depressed people? What I'm saying is the decision to go public with your sexuality is nobody's business. The decision to do that is something people do with great trepidation, no matter how much the stigma's fallen on those things, no matter how the country has changed its mind. I look at everything that's happening here, and I see that a guy like Joe Barksdale is deciding to be publicly vulnerable this way, and I just don't think many people are willing to do that. And the more guys who are 6'5", 326 pounds who do this, the more guys who do it, the more that you will find others are willing to do it.
We could just ask them.
Yeah, we could do that. But what kind of way would that be to set up the interview? Is Zach Lowe still mad at us?
Oh, man. I mean, listen, I don't know what to do here, Dad. Mad at you. Okay, he likes us. Okay, because he's responding to me. I sent out a hey, a hey, a hey, a hey, a fifth hey, and no response. And then Zach said at 11:20 that he would love to come back on and would love for you to publicly apologize, but he's having lunch. And no one has lunch at 11:20. Nobody. I don't care what anyone says. Nobody has lunch at 11:20.
So an hour ago, he sent you a text saying,
lunch. I would love to do it. Got a lunch meeting. I have asked him for proof of lunch. Picture, receipt, anything.
Oh, you think he's just avoiding me?
Crickets.
Dan Batard.
Woo, woo.
Stugotz.
Woo, woo.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
This right here is Joe Barksdale. This music right here is Joe Barksdale. I don't know if it's from Butterflies, Rainbows, and Moonbeams, but this is the 6'5", 326-pound man who guards Phillip Rivers for the Los Angeles Chargers.
And it's really good. Here's your SportsCenter update. FIFA council member Constant Omari has been arrested for embezzling money given to the... I don't know how to say this one. Do you know how to say it?
Congolese
Soccer Federation. Thank you. I mean, what a shock. FIFA, Constant Omari, embezzling money. Surprising. The Calgary Flames fired head coach Glenn Gluzatin. No idea who he is. Never heard of him until today, and I'll never hear from him again. And finally, Lauryn Hill has announced a tour to celebrate the 20th anniversary of her iconic full-length solo debut album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Hill will play the 8-time platinum-selling album at each stop of her 20-day tour. I like her, man. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day. She's got a great voice, Roy.
Joe Barksdale with us now. Again, he is a giant man, a mauler for the Chargers. He's being honored at the Erasing the Stigma Leadership Awards on April 26th. If you want more information, you go to erasingthestigma.org. And he has said in the past, this is a quote about being depressed. This is who I am. I am as depressed as I am black. Joe Barksdale with us now on ESPN Radio. Joe, thank you for making the time. We were talking about you before you came on. Why did you decide that there was a need somewhere within you to tell everybody about this?
First of all, thank you guys for having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm a big believer in research and education leading to answers and familiarity, and I feel like, as human beings, we're afraid of what we don't understand. But, at some point in time, throughout history, that's how the breakthroughs have been made. Someone has stepped up and said that, hey, we need to, focus more on this issue or learn more about this issue. And then we, continue. And then we as a society begin to cure it, and it's not as foreign anymore, like Magic Johnson with HIV, for example.
Joe, I'm interested in the overall reaction, but because of the nature of what you do for a living, what was the reaction of your teammates in your locker room when you announced this news?
Teammates were cool about it. I found it surprising that the number of people that either could directly identify with, what I, things that they read in the article, or were, one or two people removed from it. So I think that, it affects more people than we know about. And I think that, by stepping out and, speaking up, I think that it will help those people get the help that they need so that, so that the disease doesn't take their life.
Well, let's talk about the specifics of this. Again, Joe Barksdale with us. He's a Chargers offensive tackle. When did you realize that the darkness was something that was abnormal?
Last year in November. That's the time that it really, hit me. That was my fourth time trying to kill myself, and I realized that, like you said, it's not normal.
So how explain this if it's not too painful? Again, Joe Barksdale is being honored at the Erasing the Stigma Leadership Awards on April 26th. For more information, please go to erasingthestigma.org. When you're making these attempts to kill yourself, what's going on? Like, what are you thinking about yourself? Are you thinking that you're worthless? Are you thinking that the solution to the pain that is in your head, the solution is to end your life?
I think it's a combination of those things. I think it's a feeling of worthlessness, a feeling of hopelessness, that nothing's ever going to change. And with that comes, frustration and anger. And, even when you try to calm yourself down, you start to wonder if you even deserve to be here, that kind of thing.
So were there triggers, though, Joe, or are you just walking around with sort of a weight on you all the time? I know music has helped you some, and a lot of people say that there's a lot of creativity to be found in depressed states.
I would agree with that. I was actually just looking at my album on iTunes. I was going to buy it for myself today, and the top 3 songs that were originals were written in that depressed state, or has something to do with that.
Is your album is Butterflies, Rainbows, and Moonbeams about that?
No. The album's not about depression. There's elements. I would call it an ingredient in the album, but it's not the main focus, if that makes sense.
Do you think at all? It would be a weird title for depression. I agree with you. Butterflies, Rainbows, and Moonbeams.
Yes. Did you buy the album though?
Yeah. I feel like our listeners should help you out here. By the way, the album is now out. Butterflies, Rainbows, and Moonbeams. And like we said, it sounds good. Joe is being honored at the Erasing.
Thank you.
You're welcome at the Erasing the Stigma Leadership Awards on April 26th. Well, Jimi Hendrix must have been a model, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix is my favorite guitar player of all time, followed by Duane Allman.
And so how in the locker room when you come back, Joe, and does anyone know that you're in this kind of pain? Like, how alone were you when you're trying to harm yourself? How alone were you?
Oh, I was alone. But that's, like I said, this is something that I've been dealing with literally my entire life. And I was actually talking to a friend about it the other day. And he was saying, because you've been dealing with this for 20 plus years, you've subconsciously just become so good at hiding it. Like, even on super bad days, people wouldn't be able to tell because you've been, doing this for 20 something years. And people in the locker room, I would say they were all surprised. and I know not everyone has read the article. I'm pretty sure everyone that has read or will read the article, would be surprised at the suicide attempts alone. But, it's a reality. And the goal is to help people not get to the point that I'm at, if that makes sense.
Well, yes, it does. And in the vein of that, and I don't mean to make you uncomfortable, so please push me off of anything.
Oh, I'm always comfortable.
All right. So when you're going through the suicide attempts, can you take us through the details of what's happening in your life? Is your family scared of you? Or the people who care about you scared of you? Like, what is happening in your life at that point?
Well, nobody knew about the first three. And I would say, the first time was like 10 or 11. My parents, I wasn't a kid that hit a growth spurt. I just grew at a steady rate. And, I had parents that made me feel like an expense rather than, a child. And, growing up, my mom would always talk about how she wanted a girl, and obviously I'm not a girl. So I think I grew up thinking that my parents really didn't want me, feeling like a mistake that they would, that they would admit to in public, if that makes sense. And then, after, getting over, we wanted a girl, but we don't have a girl. This is our son. Stand up, show him how big you are. His clothes are so expensive. He's going to eat us out of house and home. So, you feel like a pet that, you feel like a pet that your parents didn't want. That's not good for the self-esteem, as you can imagine.
And so how does one go about shaking that off, right? Like, no millions are going to fix that. No football success is going to fix that.
I would say therapy, antidepressants, music, and yoga, and meditation. Therapy, antidepressants, music. Yeah, those 5 things have, I think, really helped, as well as helping others. Community service is something that I'm really big on. I don't really publicize any of the community service I do because I'm not doing it for publicity, but one of the few times that I am happy is, when I'm helping other people.
So but it's also, okay, so when you say music, you're talking about momentary bursts of happiness. So what you're talking about here is the music is like medicine. Giving is like medicine. These things are like medicine, but the depression, it doesn't really cure the depression. It just pushes it off for a while.
Yeah. I think the short-term goal for me, because I don't know where I'll be mentally 20 years from now. But the short-term goal for me is to, first be able to manage it externally, and I feel like that'll lead to me, doing a better job of managing it internally.
We did the serious stuff. Joe is being honored at the Erasing the Stigma Leadership Awards on April 26th. For more information, please go to erasingthestigma.org. If you want to support his cause and his bravery in coming out and talking about some of these things and showing you his soft side, Butterflies, Rainbows, and Moonbeams is the name of his album. But before we let you go, though, Joe, I need a football story about Phillip Rivers yelling at you, or something that can lighten this up around here. Phillip Rivers, the angriest he's ever been with you, or the one time you told Phillip, you grabbed him by the esophagus and said, hey, stop screaming at me. You're always screaming at everybody.
That was a good Phillip Rivers story. I think the funniest Phillip Rivers story that I've heard, I wasn't on the team at the time, but apparently there was a play that an offensive line coach installed. It was a run play, and I think they ran it like 20 times that week, leading up to the game, which is a lot. And the play just wasn't working, and I think they were either getting negative yards on the play or, getting stopped at the line of scrimmage. And they said Phil just came to the sideline, ripped his helmet off, went over to the O-line coach and was like, it's out. I'm not calling it again. Just screaming in front of the, entire team. This play is terrible. I don't know why you continue to call it, but it's out. I'm not calling this play anymore.
That's it.
And then apparently the next week it broke for an 80-yard touchdown against the Ravens.
That is great. I'm wondering if Joe has noticed, like the rest of us, if he ever looks at Phillip 90 yards away from the end zone, down 8, no timeouts, 30 seconds left.
Well, Joe's part of the reason, though.
No, he's not part. No, don't blame it on him.
I'm just saying he might feel like that's an insult.
No.
But, Joe, you guys see him like you're playing the same game every week.
Phillip Rivers' entire career, he's down like 1 possession, 8 points, 90 yards, no timeouts.
Length of the field.
Hey, we're trying to change that this year.
All right, this is the year.
We've been trying to change it for a decade.
But you've noticed it, is what we're saying. You too have noticed it. It's always that way at the end.
Yeah, I've been there.
Joe,
I do.
Go ahead.
I do think that those kind of moments build, they build the character, not just of Phil, obviously, but of the guys around him and the team as a whole. I think that, when you've been in those type of situations and you can come out on top, you believe you can do anything.
Yeah, well, then Philip certainly has more character than anyone. Joe, it'd be nice. Seriously, just one time, maybe a 31-10 lead in the fourth quarter.
We're looking forward to that this season, man. That's the goal.
Will you quit badgering this guy? He will beat you to death with a guitar. Like, what's the matter with you?
I feel badly for him.
No, you don't.
All right, Philip.
It's partly your fault, you said to him. Joe, thank you for being on with us. We appreciate it.
Part of the team.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Joe.
Don Le Batard.
And finally, the shortest, most concise tongue twister is toy boat. Try saying that 5 times fast. Toy boat, toy boy, toy boy, toy boat, toy boat.
He came closer than I did. Toy boy, toy boy, toy boy, toy boy, toy boy.
Stugotz.
Everybody, let's go around the room. Chris, what do you got? What do you got? Give us 5 straight toy boats. Say it as fast as you can.
Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Must win tonight for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
No.
For
Pacers.
Everyone except Stugotz.
Yep.
Stugotz says it's a must win for the Pacers.
It is. I'll tell you right now, the Pacers don't win tonight, season's over. If they win tonight, season's probably still over. But I'm guaranteeing you, if they don't win tonight, it's over. How about that?
All right, there it is. Thank you for the how about that at the end that punctuates it perfectly. The world will be falling tomorrow if LeBron loses tonight, except for Stugotz, who says it's still over for the Pacers. Nobody has ever said, it has never been said of the team 2-0 with 2 road victories, their season's over. Maybe the 1 year Magic Johnson was hurt for the finals.
Right. But all these shows, if they lose tonight, right? Like, they're going to trot out Windhorst and Legler and everyone, Sky is falling, LeBron is leaving. I'd like for one of these shows to bring me on, and I'm cool as a cucumber going, no, Pacers season is over. How about that?
You love the Pacers season is over by waving a sausage finger with a how about that at people. What do you have at Le Batard Show for today's Twitter polls? It feels like a light poll day.
Would Alonzo Mourning ever have had a Snapchat? I mean, whoever voted yes on this.
Why did we ever get away from this topic? We should have stayed right there all show. People in sports today who you could never imagine having a Snapchat. I'll go all in with Popovich.
Pretty good one. But Zoe's young, at least.
Well, he used to be young.
Or younger. Right,
what do you mean young? He's
younger than Popovich is what I'm saying.
I mean, barely.
77% of the audience said no. Are the 76ers trying to lull the Heat into a false sense of security with their haircuts? Great question.
I mean, it's true.
Well, 87% of the audience said yes.
It's true. They're doing it with their haircuts, and Dario's doing it with that face.
Yeah. Do you almost feel for Giancarlo Stanton? Almost. 77% of the audience said nope.
Guillermo, why are you laughing at that? Like, what do you almost feel?
I do almost feel for him.
Almost feel. You are so close to feeling. You are so close to feeling.
But then I don't. Then I don't feel for him at all.
Guillermo, what do you... Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're back. Yeah. Giancarlo Stanton. Almost feeling for him.
You get real close to the feelings.
So close. It's been 5 days and I'm back.
Never been further away from feeling horrible.
And they boo him, and it's so funny.
So wait a minute, how does this work? You go on a cliff, you're close to the feelings, and you get close to them, and then you back off.
Then he does something, and I don't.
I wish he was here.
Yes, so do I. Miss him, man. It stinks. Would Bob Kraft be the third healthiest, best quarterback in the AFC East?
I don't feel like that's accurate. But
75% of the audience said yes.
Wow. All right. Our army will do anything for us.
Oh, man, that's so funny. Is there a better smell when walking around the neighborhood than someone else's barbecue? It's the best. 84% of the audience said no. Is Dan 98% jerk?
Oh. No.
How do you think this came back?
And the first 100% or ever.
No. 82% of the audience said yes.
Yeah, if we put 100%, it would have been 100%.
Yeah.
Do they have golf in Sioux Falls?
This is a great question.
They have elk.
Didn't someone write
Steve
in?
Elkington.
Didn't someone write in?
And Ernie Elks. It's my foursome.
It's 3 guys.
Elktrick Woods. Now I got 4. You're saying?
You were saying. You were reading the polls.
You're about to ask.
You were falling in love with your own jokes.
Do they have golf at Sioux Falls? Elk. 64% of the audience said yes, they do. You're wrong, I'm telling you. Have you ever seen an elk in person? 54% of the audience said no.
Do they have golf in Sioux Falls? Because someone wrote in, we don't have summer in Sioux Falls. So do we know if you don't have summer, it becomes increasingly difficult to have golf?